Relative and writer passed away in the early hours of this morning, Wednesday, 31st May 2023, after a short illness. It goes on to say funeral arrangements would be announced in due course. The family requests privacy at this difficult moment.
We met you people 500 years ago. Look at us. We've given everything. You are still taking. It's true. I mean, where would the whole Western world be without Africa? Our cocoa, our timber, our gold, our diamonds, our platinum, our whatever. Everything you are is us. I am not saying it, it's a fact. And in return for all of this, what have we got? Nothing. Anti-personnel indoctrination against ourselves. If you go and cook your horrible diseases like AIDS, you say it is us. You brought us tuberculosis. We didn't have this big cough until white people came here. In exchange for Africa giving Europe 500 solid years of our people, I mean, not Europe, the Western world, of our human beings, to work your canes, to dig your gold, to take in gold itself, diamond, I mean, you know, fish, peanuts, palm oil, everything. In exchange for that, we have got nothing. Nothing. And you know it. Nothing. And you look upon, you know, white folks look upon us like monkeys. It is true. It's in your literature. Hey, you know, some of your best thinkers have said this about us. Have you heard of all these Germans?
And I don't know, as someone who interviews, I don't know the recovery to
all of the information she just dropped.
This is what we call proper tough guest. One question and they've thrown everything right at you. I can't even recover. I want to see his face during this interview, the person interviewing her, and I want to see when someone is throwing facts on facts like this on you.
Yeah.
Also. Yeah. Oh man, we really lost the gem, guys. But of course, a lot of people are celebrating her. She's influenced. Yes. In fact, you name your favorite feminist or your favorite woke individual, and we'll tell you that she's been woke since the 70s.
She has influenced them in a way. Yeah.
And she was a former minister actually under Jerry Rawlings.
Yeah, I understand she did that for, is it 18 months?
Yes.
18 months,
yes. And a lot of her books have influenced narratives globally. And I know for the University of Ghana, her mark at the African Studies Department still remains. I mean, you go there, ask about her, and they'll still tell you that, yes.
Ask about me.
You know? Some people don't, won't get the day. And,
Debbie.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, may her soul rest in peace.
Hope they give her a state burial though.
Oh no, they must.
Yeah.
It's not even a conversation. It's not an if or a but.
I hope so.
It's not an if or a but. Like what her contribution to literature and for putting Ghana on the map. Yeah. Like you can't. There's no if or but.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's no what?
If or but.
Okay. Coming from you, I heard the but differently.
Seriously.
I have to go there. Sorry.
Is there something I don't know about, guys?
I had to be sure that I had right, because we all know AJ.
And does it have to do
yes.
Does it have to do with the thing that Mr. Massive talked about on our page? Oh,
thank you.
Right.
It has to do with that. And
did you see that?
Her tone this morning on Morning Show, where she went all oral on.
I was doing a medical segment.
Oh wow!
Medical segment.
And yesterday, what should medical? Giovani, you sexualize everything on this show.
You are it was a medical conversation.
Are you in the consulting?
I was.
Were you there? Did you go to medical?
I had aspirations of being a doctor. Okay.
Did you go to medical?
Did you go to medical? Who carry you go? You see your life, AJ. You see your life. You see your life.
I will come back with my scientific analysis of the issues from the morning.
We're trying to reach Kawawa though. I hope we're successful.
Yeah, he's a huge.
Remember we spoke about her here on this show before.
He will give you facts.
And
especially because I think some time back there was something was trending where they were more like downgrading some of the offense.
Yeah.
Exactly. He was like,
you comparing
he was like,
you better not.
Miss me with that.
You guys don't know what you're talking about. So I remember Kawa mentioned that on the timeline.
When folks were facts,
downplaying African writers and blah blah blah. All
that.
Yo, and it's on, man. We had to get you out of your honeymoon.
Hollywood. It's fine.
Your honeymoon.
Yeah, he's found a way around it.
Yo, Fusulabi.
Yo,
are you out? Whatever that means. My brother, how are you?
I'm good, brother. How are you doing?
You don't reply messages, you don't pick calls since you got married? Is that the life we're living?
You don't message me.
Yeah?
So actually, you don't message me.
Anyway, so we know we didn't call you on such a good note. But briefly, though, what can you tell us about the late poet, playwright, author, academic, feminist, everything song? This great woman.
So, Giovani, I mean, I think that Ghana has lost a literary giant. That goes without saying, because I'm sure that everyone in the studio now, everyone listening to us knows who Amaka Edu is and the kind of impact that she had in literature in Ghana and in Africa. Now, I think one thing that I would want to say though is that if I had to do like a ranking of African writers, I'm going to put Amaka Edu in the realm of Chinua Achebe, Wole Soyinka, and Ngugi wa Thiong'o. And I'm going to do that because I actually feel she is that great. She is in that level of greatness when it comes to African writers. The only reason why she was not recognized as one of the best African writers amongst those guys was because she was a woman. And I think that it was one of the reasons why she was very staunch in her feminism. And not just feminism really, but she was staunch in African feminism. And someone is going to ask what African feminism is. But I feel like there's a difference. I mean, if someone in the West is talking about feminism and someone in Africa is talking about it, there will be disparities in it. And the reason why the African needs to practice African feminism, and Amaka Edu was one of the custodians of it. I mean, I have read, she's had about 11 or 12 publications. I think I've read about 8 of them. And every one of the stories that she wrote had a different feel to it. I mean, if you read Changes, which was her first love story published in 1991, it gives you a sense of just how, the Ghanaian community is, and, the idea of what love and marriage is in Ghana. And also, if you read something like No Sweetness Here and Other Stories, which was a compilation of short stories, it's also really good. I mean, My Sister Killjoy was another one, Dilemma of the Ghost, and all of that. She's actually made a huge impact. And like I said earlier, I mean, the only reason, because if you read a story like Anwar, for instance, how is Anwar not in the realm of a story like Things Fall Apart? It just doesn't make sense to me. And I remember making this argument to my literature teacher when I was in, I think when I was in class 6, because we started doing literature that early. And he was very surprised that I was trying to make that comparison. But to be very honest with you, when I read both stories, I read Anwar and I read Dilemma of a Ghost, and then I read Changes, and then I juxtaposed it to Things Fall Apart. The only reason why Things Fall Apart gained that much sustainability and that much importance in the literary space was, one, because it challenged the status quo. It pitched the blacks against the whites and all of that. Akuoko, that messianic figure in that story and all of that. That was what made Things Fall Apart so relevant in that time. But I think that Amaka Edu is definitely in that realm. I mean, the comparison would go on for a really long time. Yeah. But I think that Amaka Edu and Akwa Sutherland. You see, the thing about Ghana is that the writers who actually made an impact that should have put Ghana on the map were women. And you know how women
and our cultural settings and even our system doesn't really allow that, even though they will not make that open, Yes. They're not going to make it open to everybody, but I mean, I feel like, because if you take Amaka Edu, if you take Akwa Sutherland, these are two of our greatest writers.
and for some reason, they didn't gain as much prominence on the African continent like they actually should have. And so yes, I mean, for Amateidu, I mean, I'm really, really sad. This morning when I heard it, I was particularly sad about it. I met her just once at a literary lecture at the University of Ghana. But I mean, it wasn't even afterwards. After the lecture, I had to leave, and we didn't have an opportunity to interact. But I mean, she's a woman who has had a huge impact in literature, and I mean, on my life as someone who loves
reading,
literary work, and reading and all of that. So yeah, that's just about it.
Yeah. Finally, before we let you go, though, as a young person, we seem to be losing some of these greats. And sometimes you would have to Google them so hard and hope that whatever you're reading about them is the truth. Do you think we've gotten to that phase where even if you're not documenting some of these stories ourselves, maybe we should find innovative ways of getting people to know these people, naming things after them? Probably might not be enough, telling their story even whilst they're alive, Don't you think we need to do better as a people?
No, yeah, of course. I mean, I think we need to do better, and this is something that you and I have discussed a lot of times. I mean, there's something in the words where I'm, even the stories that I tell, trying to bring the older people, the people of the past into the lives and stuff like that, because people need to know these guys. I mean, for someone like Amateidu, I don't think that you should be Ghanaian and not know who Amateidu is. It will be travesty of the highest order. And it's the reason why their stories need to be told and retold. And one thing that can be done that will not make their memories die is every one of us did call English, an English course in high school, in university for communication skills, academic writing, or whatever. Now, one thing that we can do is to make the books that they read Ghanaian, and it's as simple as that. If everyone in this country is reading something from Amateidu, they would know who Amateidu is. If everyone in this country is reading something from Ifa Sutherland, they would definitely know who she is. For others, Amujoleto, who wrote Money Galore, for someone like Ayiko Yama, who wrote The Beautiful Ones Are Not Yet Born and Fragments.
Professor Awuno and the rest.
Yes, Professor Awuno and all of them. All of these stories and the poems should be incorporated in what we read in school. Because I don't get, I always say, I don't understand why something like literature, where we have very good Ghanaian literary words, we should have to always make, why don't we read Ghanaian books when we are doing literature or academic writing or com skills or those things, where we tend to read other African books and stuff like that. And it's the reason why the popularity of other African writers has grown more than our writers. And I feel like that's one of the ways that we can actually try to change that. I mean, another thing we can do is that I think that the young crop of literature lovers, if I should say, are doing a lot more in trying to put these older writers, these older women who have been impressive, onto the front board. I mean, one of them, my very good friend, Dr. Nikita Dede Ajiraku, has written a book about women who were very impactful in Ghana's history. And if you read that book, there's Amateidu in there, there's Ifa Sutherland in there, there's Alice Anum, who I'm sure many people do not know, but Alice Anum was the first person who was actually called the Baby Jet before Asamajan was called the Baby Jet.
Wow.
She was really fast. Yeah, because she was really fast on the tracks in the 1960s. She was Ghana's first 100-meter record holder for women and stuff like that. So it's something that, it's in the works. I mean, she has developed her book. I am also trying to get to the sports side of it where, we'll highlight a few more women who are really good with sports in this country. And I think that others, I mean, when there's a literary event every year at the Poetry Institute called Peja.
Okay.
And what Peja does is that a lot of us who love literature, reading, books, Ghana, whatever, we all come together to share ideas on poems, on books, on novels, and everything. I mean, drama, playwriting, and whatever it is. So that literary event has also shed a bit more light on some of these older people. And one thing that is always done is that it gives us an opportunity to appreciate them some more. And then also, try to motivate the younger generation to get into writing.
That's right.
But not to get only into writing, but also to read some of these older guys to get an idea of what Ghanaian literature was before and where Ghanaian literature is going now, so that we don't lose sight of where we are going from where we are from. And I think that all of those things are really important messages that are put across. And also, for instance, there's a software called Ako Books where there's books for kids. Like a lot of these Ghanaian stories that have been told before are simplified with voiceovers for kids to listen to. I mean, these days we say that kids don't really like to read, but if they can put their earphones in and listen to a story on their phone, I feel like that goes a long way. And when you take Ako Books, there's a story on Epa Sutherland there, Edufa is there, which was actually read by Adete Anand.
Wow.
And and some other Ga and Chi stories. So it's an app that has English, Chi, Ga, and Ewe stories that have been told, speaking Ga, speaking Chi, speaking Ewe, whichever way that you want it. And I think that is one of the most innovative ways that we put our writers out there.
We'll force the book into you, no?
Exactly.
We'll force the book into you.
At the point where
hello, Kawa. Yes. I think we're losing you, but yes.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, yes, much better now. But thank you. We're wrapping it up. Clearly, there is more to do and push Ghana, the Ghana agenda, as far as literature is concerned than jollof and other things. There is more to sell us than jollof.
There's way more. I think that there's so much more that we can sell about this country, and I think literature is part of it.
Wonderful.
The thing is that a lot of the times we look at music, we look at films and whatever, but I think that maybe if we take a closer look at both, it could also help.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much.
much.
Yao Fusulabi, journalist here with us, media general. All right, and a huge fan of the late Amma.
Adu.
Right, wrapping it up.
Yeah, so by midnight, over 7.5 million SIM cards, which have since not been linked to the owner's Ghana card, will be deactivated by the National Communication Authority. So according to the Chamber of Telecommunications, this figure includes SIM cards which have gone through only one stage of the registration process and those that have not been linked to the Ghana card at all. I think earlier the business department business desk shared the story that they mentioned that if you have not linked it or if you're not re-registered, you lose your money and all of that. But the chief executive officer of the Chamber of Telecommunications, that is Dr. Ken Ashigbe, he has explained that persons with legitimate claims can reach out to the NCA, and then also they'll plead their case, and then they'll put them on something known as the white list. So then your number and then your cannot be blocked, so you get access to your money. But it's something that they will be looking into, and it will take a while. I think the better thing was to just do the needful, join the queue, do the registration.
Some people still wait.
It was
No,
the thing is, let's be honest. It was sort of like a tedious process.
It was so cumbersome.
You will do it, and then the next minute, especially I think the reason people were panicked also was the fact that people found out that their Ghana cards are linked to other numbers that do not belong to them, and so concerns were raised. And I'm like, guys, we don't have that much time. So when we spend time to be in the queue to do these things, let it make sense. I'm just saying that. Yeah,
I hear you.
Yeah, me too. I hear you. But anyways, so do I go for a breather and come back for? Okay, so we're continuing, right, guys? Today is Wednesday, and we've got Showmax Cafe.
Let's do it.
Let's do it, baby.
That's right.
Right. So we're on episode 10. Happens to be our season finale. And the episode title is known as New Order. So many things are happening, guys. And I got the shock of my life.
Right.
But before I get to the shock of my life, let me tell you a bit of the story in episode 10. So as it stands now, Cool D went out of town, or went out of the community, but he's back. Unfortunately, Unfortunately, he got attacked by some goons, and in order for him to protect himself or find a way to still be alive, he decided to go into hiding and reach out to Adepa, who he's done bad over the period. So Adepa is like, I am swearing you off, don't come anywhere near me. But then he decided to more like change her mind in a way, because he has something that will clearly put Max in a very uncomfortable situation with the dad. So he apparently has recordings of all their meetings that suggest that I want you to kill Adepa, I want you to do this to her, all of that recording. And so Adepa is like, okay, do I believe you? Like, do I believe you and take this information?
Yeah.
But she has to do something in return, and that is to give him money and something that he can live off somewhere else, and that's Dubai. He believes that he can start all over in Dubai, and so that is also happening over there. Now, while Adepa is still thinking about it, she has a conversation with her mother in the spiritual space, which is, the Black Fairy. So I found out that they're actually known as the Black Fairies. So she's like, you need to get rid of your past. And she was like, oh yeah, I'll give him the money, he'll go away. But the woman actually meant, you need to get rid of him, like kill him. Everyone at a point in time in our family, they call themselves family, has had blood on their hands. And she's like, I can't kill anybody, I don't want to be a killer. She was like, well, your family needs you and you need to do this. And so she's contemplating whether she's going to do that, but she did not. She decided to give the money to Cool D, and in the middle of the night she started acting funny. Something was just happening with her, and then shiki. So she had to come out, pick her phone, and then place the call to the mother. Because at the point we didn't know what was happening. It was later that the mother went to her supposed shrine. She started calling whatever she has to call on, and then they found out that because she failed to kill Cool D, the fairy mother or whoever mother decided that this is your punishment. And apparently it was like more like just a taste of what can happen if you disobey direct orders. By the end of the day, she was able to be saved. Fast forward, this lady then tells herself that, you know what, I think this is time to do what my family wants or my family says. She picks up a gun, goes to Cool D's abode, shoots him in the head.
What?
Like, shoots him in the head.
What?
Yes, like, and she does that, and she comes to sit in the car and starts shaking. Oh my God. So now that happens, and the woman gives her a vial, which is her spiritual mother gives her a vial. I'm thinking, this is me watching, I'm like, okay, well, maybe just put in the food where your husband will love you forever. Like, there's a term for, how do they call that thing? For men, or maybe for husbands or whatever. This girl sprinkles a little bit on the food. The man is eating. The man starts feeling funny, and he collapses. And he starts foaming.
Which episode is this?
Episode 10.
Okay.
The final episode. Guys.
All right.
I'm watching the thing and I'm like, is this man not supposed to like have a change? Because you see, the girl is pregnant, so the man is like, I need you to go out of town and be in a very serene environment and have my baby for me. And the family, the spiritual family says, we need you around because you need to finish what you started. And I was thinking that this thing that she sprinkles on the food is going to change the man's mind and go like, oh, but you know what, I think I love you too much, I need you to be around me. The thing has killed the man. Like the girl is sitting down there watching the man shake and foam and collapse. People, I do not know what is happening, but maybe, just maybe, another season will tell us what's going on. But yeah, bits and pieces of what went down in episode 10 of The Billionaire's Wife.
Come on.
So on Friday, what's the plan?
Yeah, on Friday, we will come through, or I will come through again and just give you a little recap, and then you get to call in, answer a few questions. If you get it right, you win yourself a 6 months Showmax Cafe voucher. You get to watch literally anything you want to watch.
Wow.
No commercial breaks.
Wow.
You just enjoy. I'm done, guys.
It's been a long stay, but thank you. Very worth it. Thank you so much, Akorfa. And, big shouts going out to Eunice, who's locked on, says she thought today was the call-in. So she was preparing to call in and win.